Hello everyone, I am so excited to be here with you guys today for another unboxing. This time it's for the Witch's Shadow Work Oracle deck, which just arrived to my home today. And I just could not wait until daylight to open it up and flip through all the cards with you. It is by Tijana Lukovic, which I really love all of her work. She usually collabs a lot with the women who work on the Seasons of the Witch decks. Their names are Lorraine Anderson and Juliet Diaz. So it was this series that really got me into her artwork. This collaboration is with a different person. It looks like it's with Claire Gaugerty. So I'm just excited. The format looks a little different too, which is nice. Yeah, let's go ahead and look through it. I have my handy tools here. Let's see which ones work best for the job today. It's actually kind of a perfect night for this deck because surprisingly enough, here where I live, we're getting like this sort of random thunderstorms. So it doesn't rain very much where I live. And especially, I don't know. I don't know that it usually rains this late in the year here, but yeah, there was like some massive, like really loud thunder and then heavy rain that came down. So it's been a lot of fun. And of course, I'm here at nighttime with a little bit of shadow on the screen here. So I think it all kind of suits very well with the deck here, right? As it is also some shadow work stuff. So I think it'll be a lot of fun. Let me go ahead and read the back first. So it says, pick a card and discover your side. I'm going to have to tilt it a little, so I hope that's okay. Moon goddesses, bird souls, wolves, rebels, archetypes, and magical creatures are all intertwined in these 40 gorgeous artworks. Each card is full of hidden meanings and associations to help you confront and integrate your shadow self psychologically and magically. All right, and so there's just a quick view. Let's go ahead and open it up. A nice little two-part box. So the backs of the card seem to be what's on this front here. The book is black and white, and I'll look that over more closely at the end after I've gone through all the cards so we don't spoil any of the fun. There's this little band here. Okay. Okay. So again, here we have the backs, and here we have the card. So let me zoom in a little bit more so we can get a better view of this. Okay, so I hope that's nicer for everyone. Here we have the first one, which is the hare, the raven, the cave, the snake. It's really cool how much white space there is around the images, so it really makes the characters pop. I really like that. The friend. It's nice to think of the light and shadow meaning for each of these words. Like, how can a friend be a shadowy thing? The selkie. I'm not sure what that word is. I'm guessing it's like the sea lion or something. I don't know. The stars. How do stars misguide us? I don't know. The moon. The moon, at least in tarot, already has a bit of a shadowy side to it, so that makes sense, I guess. Also, I like the yin and yang kind of thing there. The bat, very cool. Um, the flower girl, very cute. The judge, Ooh, the little thing inside. I just saw that. Okay, the well. And so it seems like so far we have, it almost makes me think of playing cards because we've had the little tulip, or I'm not sure what kind of flower that is, and now we have a little butterfly looking thing here. Okay. The warrior, the lightning bolt. That's what we've been having today. Makes me think of the Tower Tarot card, I guess, huh? The forest. I love the artwork. It's just so beautiful. The ice queen, the bereaved. Something about that makes me think of the Five of Cups, the mask, great shadow word, I think. The little house on her skirt, very cute. The hero, ooh, that's a good shadow word. I really like this deck and the thoughts that it's provoking, or just calling out. The crone, the dancer, the trickster. Cute little fox. The helper. That makes me think of the Enneagram. I think it's maybe number 2. Also Myers-Briggs, I guess, as an archetype. The pilgrim. I love the little rabbit here, or hare, that almost fades into that background. So beautiful. The hunter definitely makes me think of Sagittarius with the bow there. Very pretty. The survivor. Surviving is great, but sometimes there's like survivor's guilt, right? And that can be rough. The sleeper. So now we're in a different suit. I don't know if we've been possibly in that one for a minute. I love like the watercolor effect on this deck here. I don't know that that's been as prevalent, or at least I haven't been as aware of it in the decks that I have with her other artwork. So very cool. I like that. The woodcutter. Ooh, like the weird little hand there. The lover. Of course, we have a lover's card in tarot. The leader. The parent. Ooh, that's a that's a loaded card. And I'm just thinking of all of these like from a shadow side, I guess, first. The sibling. Ooh. I mean, I think many of us can agree that family can be hard, but I think that's oftentimes because, I mean, we're closest to family. It's like that closest connection that we get to have with humans sometimes, and humans are hard. So of course it's going to be kind of rough, rough going sometimes, with those you love the most. The bad child. Ooh, head down here. The comforter. Oh, Makes me think of, things like coping mechanisms that sometimes can become unhealthy or come about for unhealthy reasons. The misunderstood, the mediator, the mother, the little kids. They look kind of funny with her little, I don't know if that's a cat actually, or I think it's cute. Looks like a little turnip head. I guess like Mother Nature too, right? Very cute. And so now, well, probably had it for a while, but I just noticed little birds. Cute. The inner child. Oh, I love that. Little swan and the star. The creative. Okay. These cards are so beautiful. I love how she makes like little creatures in the women's hair always. Or not, I don't know about always, but a lot of the time. The authentic self. Ah, what a wonderful card to end the deck on. That's really cool. I really like these cards. I love kind of the how thought-provoking they are. Um, I think that the art is beautiful. This is just like my first reactions, but I love Tajana's artwork. I think it's beautiful. There's something like soft and deep about it. Um, but modern and traditional, it's like this, it bridges so many things for me, and I'm sure for so many other people. I love like the watercolor technique that was used for this deck. I like how there's so much white space. A lot of the other cards in the Seasons of the Witch series have a lot of detail. I'll pull a couple of the cards out just for comparison really quick. So again, these ones are from the Litha Oracle specifically. The artwork is beautiful, but there's so much more right going on. And so it's so nice to see these ones just be so focused. I mean, don't get me wrong. I love all the detail in these ones too. I just love it all. And that's why I collect her stuff. So this is so awesome to have, and the comparison in size, just for anyone who might have some of the Seasons of the Witch. These ones, the shadow work is definitely smaller. So just a little comparison side. Maybe it's about like the inside markings of this card that I'm holding here. So, um, but yeah, I really love this deck. I find it intriguing how there are like suits almost, and I'm gonna zoom out really quick just so I can have better mobility here. But yeah, it's just these are so beautiful. They were again so thought-provoking. The imagery is beautiful. I was able to make connections to like tarot cards, um, which was nice. It kind of builds on a foundation of knowledge, I suppose. I like I said, that it's kind of like a suit of cards, and I forgot how many cards the deck comes with, but um, I like that I was able to think of zodiac signs as well, psychology, like Myers-Briggs, some philosophy, the cave. But yeah, just so much, just food for thought, and then all of this, like the family connections. It's just wonderful. I really like this deck a lot. I'm so happy that I got it. I love how the deck ends. Let me go ahead and take a look through the little guide now. So here's the little guide. We have the table of contents. Part one, I guess there are 4 parts, right? Okay, yeah, like each of the suits. Part one is the natural world. Part 2 is the dream world. 3 is the imagined world. 4 is the invisible world. Okay, cool. I like that little explanation there. A little blurb here on what is shadow work, how to use the cards, the spreads, a couple of spread ideas here, the 4 suits with different themes, introduction here, keeping a shadow journal. Okay. And then we go into the first part. And so this is just black and white, but it's not bad. I only say that because, as a reference for anyone who doesn't know, the Seasons of the Witch guidebooks usually come in like full color. They're really nice guidebooks, but I think the um, publisher is different. So this is made by Watkins. The other one is Rockpool. But so let's continue. Sorry, I'm like all over the place because I'm so excited. Okay, so back here, let's see, part 1, natural world. The hare asks, have you lost your way? Okay, so there's a little question in interpretation. You say, so maybe like something to say here, an activity. Another question here. So now for the raven asks, what are you afraid of? Okay, cool. So there's like a question. There's like a response and an activity, a blurb, of course. All right, so let's go ahead and I'm going to just flip through to the end to make sure I'm not missing. And then just about the creators there. And then about the publisher. Okay, let me shuffle these real quick and then we'll pull a card. The cards they have some body to them. They're not the thinnest. They're not super thick. They feel very close to the Seasons of the Witch thickness. They just might be a little sturdier because of the size. Sometimes that can make a difference. But flexibility, I think it's a good flexibility. Size is nice because you can like shuffle them well. I can hold them as I mess things up. I can hold them in my hand very nicely. I'm not straining my fingers as I do with other decks. And I feel like usually Oracle cards are like bigger. So it's really nice to have like a daintier size. I really kind of like that. It's like the size of tarot cards, you know? So I really like that. Let's see what card we get here. The Survivor. Okay. Let's see here. I do notice there are no numbers on here, so that makes it a little hard as you're trying to find the card here, but not too hard. I found it. So just for reference, that's what this looks like. We'll read some of this off screen. The survivor asks, who has hurt you most in life? In the earliest version of Little Red Riding Hood, the little girl wanders off the path on her way to take food to her grandmother and meets a sly old wolf. With supper on his mind, the wolf races to the grandmother's house, eats the old woman, dresses in her clothes, and gets into bed to await the little girl. On arrival, Little Red Riding Hood believes he is her grandmother, and the wolf gobbles her up too. In later versions, Red Riding Hood is rescued by a woodcutter who kills the wolf, then opens him up to release the girl and her grandmother. Let's stick with this happier ending. A surprising number of fairy tales feature children who are abused or neglected by parents or other adults, abandoned, handed over to monsters, or even killed. There's no end to the misfortune heaped upon them by their so-called protectors. Fortunately, most fairy tales have happy endings, offering hope that violence, terror, and deception can be survived. Have you had a big bad wolf in your life? Was there someone who deceived you, a real wolf in sheep's clothing? Were you mistreated or neglected as a child? How did you deal with that? Does it still affect you? If so, it is time to lay the ghost to rest. You say, I am resilient. Okay, that's very cool. I see how, like, there's a question, there's like an explanation there, and then there's a statement of, like, kind of calling back your power or whatever. And so the activity here is to write a letter to someone who has hurt you. Putting pen to paper is an effective way to release locked in emotions associated with someone who has hurt you. In your shadow journal, write a letter to that person straight from your heart. Do this without reservation and without stopping. Let the words stream out of your consciousness and don't check spelling or grammar. Just write whatever comes into your head. As you write, keep that person in mind and address your thoughts to them. Spell out what they did to hurt you, how it made you feel, and how it has affected your life. You do not need to send this letter. In fact, it is probably better if you don't. It could stir up more hurt or cause trouble. Instead, light a candle and safely and carefully burn the letter over a metal dish or in the sink. As the flames consume your words, visualize any lingering pain caused by the person who hurt you, shriveling and turning to dust. Take the ashes outside and cast them to the wind with a shout of release. Maybe even saying, I am resilient. That is so cool. I really like that. So I'll stop here, but this is so beautiful. I am so excited to work with this deck. Sometimes I think that when I hear the words shadow work, just the word shadow can evoke like some sort of feeling, right? It can cause like stir up something inside of me, at least, I'll say. That is like a little unpleasant, right? I'm such a chicken. Like I'm definitely a big scaredy cat. And so when I first encountered this idea of shadow work, I was intrigued, but also very afraid and just like, feeling kind of cautious and, unsure about it. But the more I've kind of looked into it and, learned more about it, like it's been very helpful to understand because it's kind of about facing those fears and facing those dark things within us that we are afraid to look, but that, once you shine a light on some of those dark things within ourselves or our past or whatever, you notice that it's not so scary after all. Or it's just good to wrestle with those things a little bit and kind of lay them to rest. So I am very excited to go through this deck to work with the guidebook. I'm sure they probably have like an actual journal as well, like a workbook or something. I would think. Would not be surprised if that was the case. And it probably would be very helpful. But as I guess it's recommended in the book, I'd have to read more, but they kind of recommend keeping a journal and probably going through these things and jotting down your stuff. So I think this is so awesome and I am so happy I got it. I hope you guys enjoyed the video and let me know what you think. All right, you guys, thanks so much for joining me today and I'll see you again very soon. Bye.